Good afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist Aiden's weather forecast, and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful Saturday afternoon or morning. Today's actually going to be a different video. So I believe 2 weeks ago I did a fall weekend where I did 2 videos on fall, and this is going to be a winter weekend. I'm not going to have my third preliminary winter forecast or I think it's the fourth preliminary forecast until next weekend. Or I might have it come out around Monday. I think maybe Monday I might have it come out instead of next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, today's video is going to be who will have the coldest winter 2019-2020. And then tomorrow will be who will have the snowiest. And then I guess maybe Monday, since I don't have school, I'll do my fourth preliminary winter forecast. I hope that's good for you guys, because I know you guys are really excited. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, guys. It really means a lot when you support the channel. Also, be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. I too apologize in advance. I do have a very I forgot to say this in the beginning. I have a stuffy nose right now, so hopefully it doesn't really affect me. Hopefully I don't sniffle. I'm not gonna try to, but it's been very stuffy and all that. So I hope you guys understand the allergy stuff here in the fall. But yeah, what we'll be looking at is the Enzo outlook here. Many of you guys are aware, or almost all you guys are aware, of the Enzo outlook, unless you're new to the channel. But again, this is what we look at to see exactly what Enzo's predicting, La Nina, El Nino, or neutral for the winter and fall, which helps us make our map. So I like to show this before I show my map so you guys understand why I made the map like that. So we're going to be looking at the Enzo outlook. This is the Enzo summary right here. So it says, again, Enzo neutral conditions are present. So again, the last two advisories, we actually had El Nino, but in the new one, we now have an Enzo neutral, which means it's in between a La Nina and El Nino. So it's actually a neutral. This is basically nothing right now. We don't have enough warm or enough cool waters. And you guys will understand that more in the video. So the equatorial sea surface temperatures are above average across the western Pacific Ocean and are below average in the eastern Pacific. So that's exactly what I meant when I said a couple seconds ago that there's not enough warm water. So yeah, we have the warm water in the western Pacific. And then again, yeah, that usually brings in a La Nina if there's a lot cold in the eastern, just off that. No, actually, sorry, El Nino, that would bring in El Nino, not a La Nina. But we also have very widespread cold conditions way far off the coast of South America, which is why we have that neutral. We have very far out into the Central Pacific too. We also have very below average temperatures, and if there are a chance of La Nina, probability is going up with the new advisory next month. There's a possibility the forecast for La Nina does go up, because we are seeing a lot of new updates with this widespread cool air or cool waters. And we thought it was going to stay there, but it's become more widespread. And we've actually seen a couple models show a bit more in going to those areas in La Nina, which we'll also see in the following slides. Enzo neutral is favored during the northern hemisphere fall 2019 with a 75% chance. So again, we are in fall. And it's saying throughout fall to winter with a 75%. So winter is very highly to be staying neutral. But again, with this next month advisory, a lot can change. But right now, we're going to stay with the neutral. And I'm not saying there's going to be La Nina. I'm just saying there's a possibility it goes a bit more up. And then continuing through spring 2020. So again, there's a chance it goes from fall all the way to spring with about 55 to 60% chance of that actually happening. So we actually spent a lot more time on that first part than I thought. So Enzo neutral is most likely to continue through the northern hemisphere's spring 2019-2020. So again, that's just a preview or a summary of what we read over there. This is a probability. See, we're going to be looking at the probability of actually La Nina neutral El Nino happening. What we're seeing here, we are seeing the models forecasting their probability. And as you can tell, the gray color is a neutral, the blue is La Nina, and the red is El Nino. What we've been seeing with the past couple of advisories, El Nino probabilities have gone down actually a lot. we used to see, last time we saw all of them with 30% chance, all of them. And now we see some with a 10% chance, with a 15% chance, with a 20% chance. We're seeing them, we're seeing all of these go just under 30% chance, which is actually going to raise the chance for La Nina or neutral. Same thing with La Nina. We've actually seen a couple models go down, but we've also seen a couple stay where they are. So we haven't seen all of them change like El Nino. And again, the probability outlook doesn't really favor La Nina a lot more. But when you the next slide, you're actually going to see a big difference compared to the last model we looked at in the last advisory. And then the gray again, we have the neutral. The neutral in our models are just way, way out there, not even close. The La Nina and El Nino, La Nina and El Nino probabilities aren't even close to this. Neutral, all of them favor above 50% chance, which means they are really, really thinking it's going to happen. We can see all the way to an 85% chance of this happening. So yeah, the models are really, really favoring this. They think they're right. So yeah, that's what they're saying here. And now this is the models we're going to be looking at, like I mentioned in the last slide, that this actually has showed a just a small bit bigger of a chance having La Nina throughout winter into maybe even the spring. So if you guys don't know what we're looking at right here, this probably looks a lot, very, very, hard to look at, or it's just very, interesting, or just confusing, because actually a couple months ago or a year ago I didn't even know what this meant. But again, so what an El Nino is, the real definition of an El Nino is when it's above 0.5 Celsius, positive 0.5 Celsius. And how you describe a La Nina if it's below negative 0.5 Celsius. So anything in between these are neutral. As you can tell, we have almost all of them in between these two lines, or these in between 0.5 Celsius to negative 0.5 Celsius, which means basically very, very high, very likely to see a El Nino based on them. And then again, if probability in the models are actually pretty different. You can tell we have a lot of El Nino or forecasting this, and then the probability has gone down. And this is the change right here. We have this one part right here, this one model that is coming down from a neutral to La Nina. This is the big change right here. We did not have this last time, and we are actually seeing a lot more models coming into the negative part, the negative ONIs of a neutral. Again, still neutral, we're seeing a lot more coming down, which will obviously be a close call if it gets close to negative 0.5 Celsius, which will possibly intensify. It may be becoming a strong La Nina. Again, I'm actually getting very intrigued in what's happening as we've gone through El Nino, neutral to La Nina. If that happens, I'll be crazy within 4 months of having 3 stages in the Pacific Ocean. So now we are going to be looking at the El Nino pattern. Many of you guys now know what El Nino is based on their real definition. If you guys still don't know what it brings to the United States, what conditions does it bring this winter, it brings in a subtropical jet stream that comes in through the areas of the southwest into the Gulf of Mexico. Will bring in a lot of moisture and even some cold air with this moisture. What that does is it brings in a lot more precipitation out here for the southwest. Usually you guys complain of how dry it is in the southwest, how hot it is in the winter. And many of you guys don't realize, if you guys are in the southwest, you want an El Nino to get all this precipitation. It's more for the southwest and all the west. So if you're out there in the Four Corner areas or near Los Angeles, San Francisco, you're really going to want that El Nino, because it can possibly intensify or bring in above average precipitation and maybe even above average snowfall, which is what you guys really, really want to see there. And then also, it not only brings wet conditions for the south, it also brings in that cool temperatures from the east. Usually when we see an El Nino, we see these patterns come in from the areas of Canada that usually bring in a lot more cold fronts that come this south into the east. Again, El Nino is more of a deep south thing, not just a general south. It's a deep south. So Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, southern Arkansas, those areas, maybe even southern Alabama and Georgia, you guys might see an extra inch than usual. But again, that brings in a lot of cold air from the deep south, from North Carolina all the way to New Mexico. So again, that's why I always want an El Nino. But in this case, I don't think that's gonna happen this year. And that brings the opposite conditions for the opposite part of the United States. It brings in warm conditions for the northern plains here. So it kind of swaps what you usually see with the El Nino or La Nina, and then it brings in dry conditions for the Ohio Valley. Now for La Nina, it's the complete opposite, as you probably figured. If you guys, now that you guys kind of know the definition of La Nina, but don't know what it brings to the United States, it actually brings the opposite again. It brings in a lot. It brings that high pressure system. And El Nino, we see a low pressure system, and it raises like this, and that brings in polar jet streams that come in through the northern United States, but don't usually go that south like it happens in El Nino. It brings in very, very dry conditions all the way from Florida, from the Charleston area, all the way to Los Angeles. So basically coast to coast in the southern United States there. So the southwest, south central, and southeast, you guys are getting tired of the dry conditions. If you are getting La Nina, I really, really might want to start complaining what you're going to see. And then it also brings in the warm conditions for more of the areas of the general south and Ozarks and plains. And then actually brings in a lot of wet conditions for the areas from all the way from the Tennessee Valley through northern Alabama all the way to the Detroit area, and also for the Pacific Northwest. So again, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, that's completely different. You will see above average precip, but if you're in the Southwest, it's completely different patterns, which is actually kind of pretty interesting. And then again, it brings in the cool air for the northern plains. Now time for my map. Let me actually move this a bit higher because you guys can actually see it. Let me actually move it a bit more higher like that. Okay. So we're going to be looking at here is my map here. It's actually not perfect, but this is what I think will happen. Please ignore this little area right here that's not in the blue. That's supposed to be light blue. I did not realize it was like that. I do apologize. Didn't have too much time to make this map, but I still had around an hour to make it, which is a good amount of time. But here, most of you guys already know how my maps work. If you're in the light blue, you will be seeing a slightly, or let's go with a cool to a slightly cold winter, so maybe slightly below average temperatures. You'll see again a cool to cold winter. So that comes all the way from Montana, the areas of Washington. Again, guys, this is based on average, not out of the whole country. So if you're in the peak, doesn't mean you're going to be the coldest state. It means you're just going to be a lot colder than your average. That'll come in from Utah, Colorado, Washington, or not Washington, Kansas, through the areas of Texas and the Houston area, or sorry, the Dallas area, all the way through the deep south. So I think we might have a couple cold fronts that come in to the deep south, and now coming all the way to the Delaware area. So if you're in the southeast, you guys will be seeing some cold air this winter. If you're in the dark blue, you'll be seeing a cold winter. To a very cold winter from all the way to the eastern half of Montana, through the central plains, through the Ozarks into the Tennessee Valley, up the east coast into the mid-Atlantic, all the way to the New England area. I think that's where we'll be seeing a very cold winter this year. And now for the thing you've been waiting for, who will have the coldest winter is in the pink. So in the pink, you will have the coldest winter, very, very cold winter, a lot of Arctic blasts. Just incredibly cold based on average. That'll come all the way from the Midwest area of northern Minnesota, all of North Dakota, most of South Dakota, many areas of northern Nebraska, through the northern tip of Missouri, through the areas of the Ohio Valley, from Illinois all the way to the Buffalo, New York area. So if you're all the way from New York crossing around to Michigan, that's where we have basically seen the coldest winter. And also, if you guys realize, I did not put any orange colors right here in the I didn't put any orange colors in the Southwest like I usually do. I think we will have a slightly bit warmer of a winter. I just did not put that in this video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys next time.